and I had a choice. My mother and father had a choice. Again, either take me down to the Board of Health, or nurses or healthcare providers would come to the elementary school and vaccinate me for tuberculosis.
I remember that.
So,
I remember that.
And I remember I had to go down to the nurse's office. I was in second or third grade, and they popped me right there. So this is round 3 here with the pandemic. But like I said on another podcast, you go to the World Health Organization, Kris, and go to their website, and on their website, they track 10,000 diseases, from smallpox to bloodshot eyes, from shaving bumps to cancer. Then you go to the Center of Disease Control, and they track the top 400 diseases. Again, from cancer to irritable bowel syndrome to whatever. And as I said on the podcast, not a single disease was created by God, by the Almighty. So what does that mean? Well, that means the same thing that Benjamin Franklin didn't invent electricity. He just raised his awareness that there is an electrical force out there. And just like there is a quote unquote cure for coronavirus, all we have to do is raise our level of awareness, and it will show in our life. So we just got to be ready for it and open to it. And as you know, there's 2 forms of medicine, and I suggest that we use both of them. One is allopathic. What is allopathic? I got a headache. All right, take 2 aspirin, see me in the morning. But another one is Ayurveda. What is Ayurveda? Well, if you don't want that headache and you don't want these other diseases, I suggest that you walk around the block and eat that apple and take time out every day to meditate before jumping into the world first thing in the morning. And that's what we have got to do.
Wow.
We've got to do. Why is coronavirus hitting Black America with unprecedented heights? Well, that's what the federal government did. The federal government has thrown these health burdens on Black America. Why? You said it at the opening of this show, redlining. Redlining forced us into these neighborhoods with food deserts. I mean, I tell my students at Clark Atlanta all the time, I said, well, Dr. Kimbro, if God didn't create these diseases, who did? And I tell my students, I said, you did. I said, how in the world did I create the disease? Well, I said 50% of all diseases caused by lack of adequate drinking water. Maybe the only reason why he blew breath into your lungs is for you to go to Bangladesh, for you to go to remote parts of Africa and dig a well for somebody.
Wow.
But just like the disease in the Black community is caused by the federal government in 1934, federal government, started redlining. As I was going to say, it began in St. Louis. And when St. Louis got through with their little red pins on the SMSA, Standard Metropolitan Statistical Area, saying we will not invest a single dime in this area, 239 other cities in this country signed up with St. Louis and said, St. Louis, lead the way, we're lockstep, we're going to follow you. And the next thing you know, forcing us into these communities. Why? Because they would, and they even, St. Louis even said, if we do find a Black couple that's educated, that's young, that has their finances in order, and if we do give them a mortgage, we're going to charge them double the interest rate. So there you are. And redlining, as you know, Kris, was supposedly outlawed in 1968, but it still exists today. Come down to Atlanta, Georgia, and I'll show you sections of Atlanta, Georgia that are Black inhabited, and then I'll show you sections of Atlanta, Georgia that are white and affluent and what we call high growth areas. It's not like we went to sleep on Monday night and Tuesday when we woke up, oh man, what brought all this to bear? Come on, man, you know what's going on.
Round up first, I gotta, you can keep going. Roundup family, this is Kris Haskins. Thank you for joining us, my real estate roundup homies. What's going down? My guest today, Dr. Dennis Kimbro. You know, first of all, my mission is to bring you, my mission and ministry is to raise your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. in doing that, I get to hang out with some winners, and I'm just on cloud nine, being able to hang out with one of our most keynote scholars, Dennis Kimbro. How you doing today, my friend?
I am doing fine. Thanks for having me on your show, my brother.
I hate to cut you off. I'm not going to cut you off a lot, but I have to make sure that we kind of keep the thing moving.
Yeah.
Brother Kimbro, you've written so many books. I'm ashamed to say I've only read 2. I'm going to be transparent. I read 2. Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. I got them. I literally keep What Makes the Great Great next to my bed. I promise you. I'm not gassing you. I'm like so much that I just go back to. Thank you for writing this stuff.
No, you are more than kind.
Thank you. I have written 2 books, and I know they are not easy to do. I understand. We're going to get a little bit in your background, what you've done, and where you're going in the future. But I really want to pay attention to the future of our Black entrepreneurs, being that we've been stung with this coronavirus. So we can kind of go over that too, and your thought process on how we're going to get past that. Thanks for joining me. Round up. Get your questions in the box. You got the man here. I don't know when you're going to be able to get him on the line. Took me months to get him, and here he is today.
Oh, it didn't take months, bro. Oh, you just hit me up on LinkedIn, man.
He's making it seem like it's that easy, but I promise you, it's not.
Well,
Brother,
the fact of the matter is that we're here. And in terms of entrepreneurship, hey, listen. Yeah, we can look at the pandemic. We can look at everything that's going on throughout the world, throughout society right now. But I still beg to differ. This is absolutely the absolute best time in the world to be in business, to be on the planet. Now, why in the world do I say that? Because right now, here we are. This is May 26th at 3:14 in the afternoon on a Tuesday. You have no less, Kris, than 200,000 of your absolute best thinkers on the planet. We're talking the best virologists, the best doctors, the best scientists, the best folks in technology, the best influencers, the best thinkers. And what are they doing? They're all focused on one single problem, one single challenge, and that is this pandemic. Malcolm Gladwell said in his book, Tipping Point, his first book, he said that any problem, you don't have to go back and read that book. I'll just give you the highlights of it. He said any problem, and he didn't care what the problem was. He didn't care if the problem was homelessness. He didn't care if the problem if you're unemployed. He didn't care if the problem is you can't find your father with a roadmap, you don't have a job, you're not educated. He said any problem can be solved if only enough people care. And at this particular point, enough people to care, well, we're going to solve this problem.
I see.
Number 2, here we are. We're talking less than 5 years, less than 60 months. We live in a society right now that's 7.2 billion people. When you boot up on your smartphone, there's my smartphone, you can see it right there. Right now, 7.2 billion people are online with us. Well, in the next 60 months, that number will go up to 8 billion. Kris Haskins, what the hell does that mean? When you go online, that's 8 billion sets of ears and eyes focused on you to share your product, to share your service, what you're doing, what is your dream, what is your vision, what is the particular problem that you want to solve. And you talked about entrepreneurs. There's a big difference between being a small business owner and an entrepreneur. Right now, we have, quote unquote, 2 million African-American small business people. 95% of our businesses are sole proprietorship. So these are small business people. But what do small business people do? Well, they run small businesses. But what do entrepreneurs do? Entrepreneurs solve problems. You got entrepreneurs right now working in corporate America. You got entrepreneurs right now working for social service agencies. Entrepreneurs solve problems. As I ask my students all the time, if I gave you $1 million, what problem would you solve? If I gave you $1 billion, what problem would you solve? Just ask people, how can I make your job, make the task more efficient and more effective? So entrepreneurship is key. So what is the definition of entrepreneurship? Pursuit of an opportunity without any regard to the resources at hand. So what must entrepreneurs do at this particular phase, this pandemic that we are in? Number 1, Forget monetizing your business. You got to digitize it.
Wow.
You got to digitize it, Kris. I mean, here we are, we're doing a Zoom, we're doing a StreamYard, whatever. Well, this is an office meeting digitized. What is Netflix? Netflix is Blockbusters digitized. What is the Zoom office meeting? You know, Zoom is an office meeting digitized. What is Google? Google is the public library digitized. If you can't put your business on this smartphone, you don't need to be an entrepreneur. And that's not me, that's Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs said there's only 4 reasons why to be in business, and not one has got to do with money. He said the number 1 reason to be in business is, you know, fulfill the dreams of your client. Number 2, he says, don't build a business, build a movement. Steve Jobs is one of the youngest billionaires. When he crossed the threshold of billionaire status, he said, I'm sick and tired of people asking me all the time, how does it feel, man, to be the youngest billionaire out there? He said, I didn't do this for the money. I did this to produce insanely productive products that people wanted to use and make their life easier. Number 3, he said, make it easy for people to do business with you. Kris, right now there are 21 different ways to market and sell a product or service. 21. And I tell millennials all the time, you guys just go ahead and gravitate to number 1, internet. Well, there's 20 other different ways, man, to market and sell your product or service. Number 1 is word of mouth. Number 2 is the flyer. You ever have produce a flyer and hand it out? Number 4, I remember that commercial with AIG. What was number 4? Advertising on a bench at a bus stop. Mm-hmm. Number 7, advertising on the side of a truck. Number 20 is TV. Number 19 is radio. Number 18, segmented magazines. That's Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey, she chose number 18. And we see Oprah online when she's interviewing, but number 18 works for Oprah and she won't let it go. So make it easy. Why? There's still people who are not online. So you're going to dismiss that corner, that niche of the marketplace? You got to be crazy, man. Make it easy for people to do business with you. Mm-hmm. And remember, Kris, the internet wasn't created until 1993. In 1993, an undergraduate student at University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana, invented the first website. And here you have Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos graduates from Princeton University. He got his degree in engineering, got a finance background, and what does he do? He goes off to Wall Street to make a killing, day trader, hedge funds, this, that, and everything. But he looks at this undergraduate student with the first website, and he says, I think there's something to the internet. And he follows the internet for the next 18 months, and he sees that the internet has grown 2,300%. He said, the hell with Wall Street. He leaves his job on Wall Street, goes back home and lives with his parents in Seattle. Lives with his parents in Seattle, tells his mom and dad, say, oh, son, what happened to Wall Street? He says, that's not where the action is. The action is with the internet. His parents says, what is internet? He says, I'll show you. I'm going to sell books online. And he finds 60 individuals. He asked those 60 individuals to invest $20,000 apiece. 60 didn't invest, but 20 did. And the number 1 investors were his parents. His parents gave him the retirement, $234,000. And they said, son, if this doesn't work, we're going to be dead broke. He says, don't worry. And look at Jeff Bezos now. Man. Make it easy. And then Steve Jobs says, number 3, if you can't do those 3 things, do number 4. Number 4 is total craft mastery. When you can't build a movement, when you can't, fulfill the dreams of your clients, when you can't, make it easy for people to do business with you, work on yourself. So there I am in my management class at Clark Atlanta, and I got my PowerPoint, and I throw 3 images up on the PowerPoint. I show my students of Jay-Z, I show my students a picture of Antonio Reed, and I show my students a picture of, Puffy. And I said to them, what do they all have in common? And they said,
Entertainment.
bro, they're music moguls, they're bank like Hank, they're millionaires. And I said, no, damn it, tell me what they really have in common. And by then they're hiding under the desk and scared to death to answer me. And I said, these three individuals took 6 weeks out of the busy schedule to take an executive management class.
You said that.
And you take an executive management class at Harvard, that doesn't mean, okay, after, Friday's lecture, you catch, the first thing smoking to go out to LA and come back, a red eye Monday morning. No, you stay up in Boston for those 6 weeks total. Work on yourself. Total craft mastery. And marketing is called top of mind status. Kris, what is top of mind status? When you think of a car, what do you think of? Do you think of a Hyundai or do you think of a BMW? Do you think
Mercedes, BMW?
Do you think of Mercedes Benz or do you think of, I think of Mercedes Benz. When you think of a hotel, do you think of Four Seasons or do you think of Motel 6? When you think of a restaurant, do you think of P.F. Chang or do you think of the corner Chinese restaurant? When they think of real estate, you better hope and pray they think of Kris Haskins.
That's true.
What the hell are you saying? I'm saying somebody better get excited about your life and you better pray it's you. And you better pray it's you.
Brother Kimbro, round up. Get your questions in there. Me and him, as we usually do, we'll go back and forth for a little bit, but I want to know my rounduppers. Please get your questions in from Mr. Kimbro, Dr. Kimbro. You said, let me tell you, when I was introduced to you, brother, about 1.5 years ago, I heard a speech. Somebody just sent it to my phone. It said, brown people have to be concerned with an E to E ratio.
Yep. Education.
I had never heard this. This got my spidey senses up, and I Googled. I'm like, who is this brother talking about craziness?
Yeah.
Wham. That's when I found you. Could you just elaborate a little more on that?
Yeah, and now I just recently saw where Simon Sinek was talking about E to E ratio. Oh yeah. So it's the amount of time that you spend, in entertainment versus education. Okay. E to E ratio. So what is the E to E ratio? Well, if I pluck the average individual, I'm walking down Main Street, America, and I don't care if you're white, I don't care if you're Hispanic, I don't care if you're Asian, whatever. The E to E ratio is about 50 to 1. All right. So for every $50 you spend in entertainment, the average individual spends $1 in education. So if you go to the movies and you take a date and you're going to go to the movies, and after the movies, you go take her out to dinner, and then after dinner, well, let's swing by this joint, have a couple of drinks. You may have blown $50 to, hey, I just picked up a book. I picked up Dr. Kimbro's last book, 50 to 1. In the Black community, it's 200 to 1.
Oh my God.
For every dollar we spend on the inside of our mind, we spend $200 on the outside. So I have a sign in my classroom that reads, if you don't read, if you don't study, if you don't grow, if you don't develop, if you don't take good notes, if you don't sit in the front row, if you don't sit in the first seat, if you don't go to the seminars, if you don't go to the conferences, if you don't take good notes, somebody else in the universe will. And the day you meet that other person, you lose. You lose. See, I mean, that is called, and I have no problem. I'm a college professor. I've been blessed. I got a doctorate from one of the top schools in the nation. But hey, listen, man, I tell the truth. I'm a realist. It's 2 types of education. You got formal education, go get your degree, blah, blah, blah. Well, a formal education will get you a job. But self-education will make you rich. People will make you rich. People will make you poor on your ability to serve them. And you have always got to embrace, you don't go to school one period of your life. Look, damn it, you're in school every day of your life. And I love that story about Janetta Cole at Spelman College. When she was president of Spelman College, she just got through with another graduation ceremony. And if you know anything about Spelman, like I told you, my youngest daughter, the Spelman's sister, they always have their commencement on a Sunday. So she just gets through with another graduation. That Monday, she's getting her affairs in order to finally catch her breath over the summer and relax. And there's a knock on her door. And who is it? One of her freshly minted graduates comes by, shakes her hand, says, Dr. Cole, I just wanted to come by your house and I just want to hug and shake your hand and tell you, you know, now that I got my degree, now that I finished my education, I don't know if I'll see you again. I'm going home. And what did Janetta Cole say to her? She said, that's funny. You finished your education? Young lady, I'm just starting mine. Oh. Hey, man. So it's a lifelong process. And until we understand the power of ideas, and Chris, that's not me, that's Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill says there are two forms of imagination. One is creative. What is a creative imagination? It's, oh man, look at that idea that I just got. And look, damn it, what is an idea? An idea is your creator knocking on your subconscious, asking you, do you want more out of life? Chris, don't you know the average individual in our society gets 4 ideas a year? Any one of which, if you have the guts, the fortitude, the courage to chase your dream, will make you financially independent. So here's imagination, and that's creative. I got an idea. Well, there's another form of imagination. It's called synthetic. And what is synthetic? It's taking an existing idea and making it more efficient, making it more effective. Taking an existing idea and selling it to an underrepresented market. I mean, that was Earl Graves of Black Enterprise magazine. Look at Forbes, look at Fortune magazine. He took Forbes' fortune and said, no, I'm gonna start a business. As a matter of fact, it's going to be a magazine. As a matter of fact, it's going to be a magazine for Black individuals who want to move forward and go to the next level. And what did it do? It made him a millionaire, made him a multimillionaire. That's Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill and his Think and Grow Rich comes up with 17 principles of success. From number 1, definiteness of purpose, to the last one, cosmic habit force. But he says the only reason why he came up with principles 5 through 17, Chris, is to get you to use 1 through 4. And what is 1 through 4? Number 1 is definiteness of purpose. Number 2 is mastermind. Number 3 is applied faith. And number 4 is going the extra mile. That's all you need to know, baby. The rest is rhetoric. The rest is the icing on the cake. The rest, slice up a lime and put it in the taquitos. The rest, you just need definiteness of purpose. And when he talks about definiteness of purpose, Chris, he's talking about a burning desire. See, we got 50 million desires. The average individual's got 50 million desires. My wife, she got a desire. She wants to change the deck. She wants to change the house. She wants to pressure wash the house. She got desires to do this. She wants a new Weber charcoal. Yeah, we all got the desires. So do I. I got a desire. Here I am in my study. But what is a burning desire, Chris? A burning desire is an inner candle, an inner flame that can never be extinguished. And though the worst may go before you, this goal, this objective, I don't care what goes down, I'm reaching this goal and objective. And the doubters will come, the cynics may come, the naysayers will come. And what will you do, Chris? You will use their doubt. You will use their cynicism. You will use their nasty words and their unbelief to build your real estate empire. You will do it. God. That's a burning desire. And what is the burning? What do I say in my latest book, The Wealth Choice? What do I say in What Makes It Great? A burning desire is the passionate, committed mind. Look, Chris, take some notes, damn it. The passionate, committed mind can never be defeated. Can never be defeated. If the passionate, committed mind could be defeated, there'd be no Bill Gates. There'd be no Oprah Winfrey.
Wow.
There would be no Michael Jordan. What did he have? He had the passionate, committed mind. Kobe Bryant, he had the passionate, committed mind. I don't care. Say it. I'm going to do it before your eyes. What did Bruno Mars say? Don't talk about it. Come show me. Show me the passionate, committed mind. That's all you need. And applied faith. What is applied faith? It's faith in self and faith in others. Those men and women who have won most in life have relied mostly on themselves. Dr. Kimbro, what in the world are you saying? I said, when it comes to applied faith, if they bet the ranch, if they bet the farm, they bet on themselves. So there I am interviewing Damon John. And I said, Damon, what was the high water mark in your life? He said, what do you mean? When you didn't know if your far-flung apparel line was going to make it. He said, I know exactly. He said, when I finally got financing from Samsung and they loaned me $80,000 to build my apparel line, the first thing I did, I hired all these seamstresses and they showed up at my mother's house with all their equipment and I had no place to put them. I said, so what did you do? He said, I took all the furniture out of my mother's house, put it in the backyard and set it on fire.
Oh. No turning back.
Bet it on him. Passionate, committed mind.
So where do we get?
Damon John is number 2 in wealth on the Shark Tank to Mark Cuban. People don't know that.
Wow.
He's
the reason I watch it.
Got the Damon John is right. He's right on Mark Cuban's heels. And what did Damon John tell me? He said, you only need creativity and innovation. I said, what are you talking about? He said, creativity is the ability to get the idea. All right, so I'm getting ready for your podcast. And I got up this morning, I was looking like a rough rider. I got up, I came down to my study and I said, oh man, I'm getting close to 3 o'clock. Let me go upstairs and shave and shower. So I go upstairs and I shave and shower. I get 50 million different ideas while I'm in the shower. What I want to say, what shirt I want to wear, how I want to present myself. It's the ability to get an idea. But what is innovation, Kris? Innovation is the ability to execute that idea. Execute it. So entrepreneurs, only 2 things you got to do. Number 1, digitize your business. And number 2, you got to scale it. Let's come on, what the hell is scale? You find best practices wherever you are. You can always look around and you can see somebody doing it better, faster, cheaper. And you can scale anything. Because Henry Ford came up with the Model T. Look what Maserati came up with, man. Because, oh man, hey, listen, Hyatt Hotels was launched during the Depression. Well, this is Hyatt Hotels, man. Yeah, but this is the 4 Seasons in Dubai, baby. Which one do you want? Where do you want to stay? Okay, man, oh my goodness, man. I mean, you can find any way to scale your business better, faster, cheaper, be more productive and more efficient and more effective. If we are doing, listen, if you're doing the same thing the same way, 9 times out of 10, not all the time, but 9 times out of 10, it's being done the wrong way. If everybody in your organization is thinking along the same lines, well, damn it, no one is thinking. No one is thinking. Show me how we can scale. Now, I teach at an HBCU, all right? You listen to me, Kris Hankins, real estate developer. I teach at an HBCU. If I wanted to get an MBA from Harvard, don't you know there are 4 other locations outside of Boston where I could go to get that MBA? I could go to Germany and get a Harvard MBA. I could go to the Mideast and get a Harvard MBA. So what am I saying? All right, I teach at an HBCU. How come we don't have a Spelman College East Coast and a Spelman College West Coast? Why are we making Black girls come from Los Angeles all the way to Atlanta to get a Spelman degree? How come we don't have a Morehouse College in Atlanta and a Morehouse College out in LA? Why we gotta make 2,000 sharp young brothers go 3,100 miles? Baby, this is 2020. This isn't 1920. This is 2020.
Digitize.
Oh man, unbelievable. We got what? We got 1 million brothers incarcerated right now. How come, man, they are taking online courses? And the only reason why they're in there, hey, listen, no high school diploma. The more words in the more words in your vocabulary, violence goes down. 1-to-1 correlation.
I've seen that.
I've
read that many times.
Correlation.
I've read that many
You don't know
times.
how to express yourself, man. And what is the best way to express yourself? When you put a finger on pierced lips. That's just, you don't have to say a word, man. The best way for you to express your work, express your brand is to say nothing. I could put the Nike swoosh up there. Don't have to say nothing. And what does it mean? It means I'm athletic, man. It means I'm taking care of myself. It means Kris Haskins is a couch potato. He's eating potato chips, getting big as a house. What am I doing? I'm running the miles. I'm lifting the weights, man. Man, it says all that? Yeah, it says all that. Man, what does it mean when you got the iPhone? It means, man, I'm entrepreneurial, man. I'm an innovator. I'm creative, man. I'm sending out text messages, man. I'm reinforcing my brand. I'm in control. And all you did was show the Apple logo. That's all you did, man. That's powerful. That's a powerful metaphor about life. There are 8 laws of branding, but the only 2 that you really got to focus in on, the top 2, law of leadership and the law of specialization.
Leadership.
And the law of specialization. What is your area of excellence? What's the one thing you do better than anybody else? And don't you deviate from that. Don't you deviate from that. I mean, there's 50 million folks who can speak better than me. There's 50 million folks, man, who can rip the stage and do this and who can do that. But what makes me different, just like Henry David Thoreau, don't you die with your music left in you. Catch me when I walk into the classroom. Oh, you don't want none of me when I go in the classroom, baby. What did Henry David? Because when I walk in the classroom, what does the rapper Too Short say? It's been way too long time for the whole world to sing your song. Yeah, my students, my MBA candidates, they're going to sing my song for 1 hour and 15 minutes. The cufflinks come off. I roll up my sleeves. I got my PowerPoint. I walk in and down the aisle. I walk all around the class. I walk up. I walk down. I get up in the student's face, man. I talk about that case. Some things they didn't even think about on that case study. I come from a different angle. I'm like a talk show host, man. My students will come up to me after class and say, "Whoo, Dr. Kimbro. Man, I don't know if I can come back Thursday, man. Man, Dr. Kimbro, you are fine, man. I was never thinking about that, man. Whoo, man. Man, Dr. Kimbro, I'm so glad you didn't call on me today. My classmates, they didn't know how to handle you today, man." Different story. Why? Because when I was a junior undergrad, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. Here I am, an undergrad student, a junior, University of Oklahoma, and what did my frat brothers call me? They called me the professor. Why? Always had a book on them all. They said, "Where's Kimbro?" "Oh, yeah, but you know Kimbro, he's in the library, man. He's in lab. He's off somewhere reading." I didn't call myself the professor. They saw my brand already.
Wow.
See, wow. The law of specialization. Find your area of excellence and pour your whole heart and soul in. If you get anything from that book, What Makes the Great Great? Here it is, Kris. If you had to describe what you do, what word would you use? Would you call it work? Would you call it a job? Would you call it a career? Or would you call it a mission?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a mission. You know what? I didn't get a mission when I was making 50, 60, 70,000. I didn't get I feel like my mission started after I had a little clarity in my life regarding being able to see.
Because if it's work, if it's a job, it's heavy. It'll drain you. But if it's a mission, you're completely and fully engaged. Oh, man, I didn't even eat today. I forgot to get my clothes out to clean up. Oh man, I forgot to pick my kids up. Why? Completely and totally engaged.
Gotcha.
Completely and totally engaged.
Roundup, if you're just joining us, I'm with Dennis Kimbro, the man, best-selling author. You can get all of his books in the video description below. I got the links on all of them down there. Please indulge yourself if you haven't heard of this gentleman. He's changed my life, the way I think. Before we move on, I still want to know, where did we get this E to E thing? Why are we spending? I want to talk about brown people. Why are we spending more on entertainment? Are we trying to get away as opposed to pulling ourselves to be a better people? Do we not have role models that are forcing these lifestyles on us? Where does it come from, and how can we kind of break that? I don't want to stay here too long.
This is a way for us to decompress. I mean, nothing happens by accident, and there's no blaming of the victim right now. This is a way for us to decompress. You got to understand, Kris, that 50% of my race, when we wake up in the morning and when our feet hit that cold ground, one half of my race have one dream and one goal only. And what is that? To get through this day by any means
Golly, man. That's
Lord,
rough.
Father, help me get through this day by any means necessary. They're not thinking their future in advance. They're not thinking where they're going to be in the next 5 to 10 years. They're thinking about placing food on this table. They're thinking about rent, to pay this month's mortgage, to pay my apartment bill, to feed my kids. 50%. And I mean, come on, man. So we got to think, man. Okay, so 50%. So all I'm saying, you don't have to live like this. And that's not me, that's Martin Luther King. I mean, Dr. King said, your life is officially over the day you begin to talk about and think about and discuss everything that doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter. So what does matter? Number one, your life. Well, Dr. Kimbro, what particular aspect of your life? Top of the list, peace of mind. Peace of mind. People say, well, that's the will of God. Everybody talks about, well, I know God's will. Really? You really know? Well, number one, what is God? God is love. And what is will? Will is thought. So what is God's will? That we think love. Peace of mind. And that's, Napoleon Hill wrote 16 books. If he would have lived, 1 year longer, the last thing he was working on was Think and Grow Rich, Your Black Choice. Right? I got 99% of his books. When I was writing Think and Grow Rich, Your Black Choice, I was exposed to Napoleon Hill University. Between W. Clement Stone and Michael Ritt, who was his executive director, I mean, I listened to all his audios. I got all his books and this, that, and everything. But to me, my favorite book that he wrote is called The Master Key to Riches. Now, The Master Key to Riches is one of his smaller books, but what makes The Master Key to Riches so intriguing to me, Kris, was that he really defines what is success. He finally defines what is success. And 99% of people say that success is wealth, is money. It's not monetary, unless that is your goal, to go ahead and make and track a whole bunch of money. But he says in The Master Key to Rich that success and wealth are a 6-pointed star. And you can judge, you can gauge wherever you are in life by how many of these points of this star that you incorporated in your life. And number one, the top of the star is peace of mind.
Wow.
You won't be wealthy. What is peace of mind? It is the absence of all negative emotions. Fear, anger, jealousy, hatred, guilt, greed. And to the extent that you have thrown and limited these negative, toxic emotions in your life, Kris, you will have peace of mind.
Wow.
You can't put a dollar figure on that. You can't. Health is not the absence of disease. Disease is the absence of health. Wealth is not the absence of poverty. Poverty is the absence of wealth.
Wow.
Peace of mind. The second is health and energy. You won't have peace of mind if your body is ravaged by pain, if your body is ravaged by disease. And what is disease, Kris? It's dis-ease. It's lack of ease. And look at my race. I mean, we're overburdened with COVID-19 because we don't have the peace of mind. We don't have the thinking. We don't have the time. We don't have the awareness, the consciousness. What does the Bible say? If I be lifted up, I draw all men unto me. Well, what does that mean? It means, when are you going to raise your level of vision? Raise your level of vision. People might say, I say, well, Kris, I want to take you, I'm going to take you on a field trip. I'm going to take you to New York. Let's spend a weekend in New York. You might say to me, I hate New York. New York is crowded. It's congested. It's polluted. You can't even walk up and down the street without bumping into somebody. I don't care if you get in a car and get in a taxi and drive up Fifth Avenue. It'll take you an hour to drive up there when all you got to do is walk. It take you 10 minutes. I hate it. It's polluted, blah, blah, blah. But I said, wait a minute, Kris. Let's go to New York. Let's go to Manhattan. And let's go to the Empire State Building. And I'm going to take you up on the 107th floor.
Nice.
And then I'm going to let you look out. And you will go, man, Dr. Kimbro, is that Boston that I see? I can see all the way to Boston from here. Man, that's Washington, D.C., man, blah, blah, blah. Look, man, look how clear it is. Blah, blah, blah. What is the difference? Nothing, except you raise your level of vision.
Wow.
That's all Napoleon Hill was. Marcus Garvey said the same thing. Go read his book, The Philosophy and Opinions of Marcus Garvey. And what did he say? He said, I'll show you what race can do, and I'll show you what wealth can do, but I will show you what race and wealth can do together. What book do you think they were reading at the Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1918 when they built the Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma? They were reading Garvey. And what do you know about Tulsa, Oklahoma? You're in the real estate. It was 36 square blocks, Kris damn Haskins. 36 square blocks. And where was it? Greenwood, Archer, and Pine. 15,000 of the absolute baddest black folks on the planet were in the 36 square block areas. And what did they produce? They had 3 movie theaters. They had a hospital. They had a bus line. They had 6 airplanes. They had 30 grocery stores, 21 restaurants. Kris Haskins, they had schools. And listen, you talk about this. We talk about, okay, the average dollar stays in the East Indian community 45 days before leaving. The average dollar stays in the Asian community 21 days before leaving. The average dollar stays in the Jewish community 19 days before leaving. The average dollar stays in the black community 6 hours before leaving. But don't you know, in the Black Wall Street, those 36 square blocks, the average dollar stayed in Greenwood, Archer, and Pine 6 months to a year before leaving.
Oh my gosh.
6 months to a year before leaving. Oh my God. Whoa, man.
Wow.
Well, here's the good news, right? If you did it once, you can do it again. If you did it once, and you can do it again. And what did Napoleon Hill say? It's only 2 things you need. Number 1, you need the science of success. That's what he wrote, and he passed the baton on to me. All of my books about the science of success. And number 2, when you raise your level of vision, and now you are holding on to the science of success, take massive action. Take massive action. Definiteness of purpose, a flying plate, going the extra mile. Take massive action. And you can have, be, or do whatever you want.
Dr. Kimbro, round up, get your questions in. I got a few more things I'm going to hear here. Good Lord. We'll get to some questions roundup. Dr. Kimbro, thank you. I want to know your opinion, or what are your thoughts on the importance of real estate? I've kind of based my business on real estate, and I remember Farrakhan saying people have died over real estate. The Europeans came, murdered the Indians, and then a certain segment of the population tried to hold out another segment of our population from getting into real estate. How important is that in your opinion, for entrepreneurs now to be at least involved in some type of real estate?
Well, I see, because I discussed this. I noticed that you don't have my latest book, which is The Wealth Choice, but that's a 7-year study on Black millionaires. And Kris, to answer your question specifically, I asked these Black millionaires for over a 7-year period. I rubbed shoulders with minimum 1,000 Black millionaires. Okay. Now, one time there were only 35,000, might be slightly more than that right now, but 1,000 Black millionaires. So I asked them, I used a full-blown survey. I asked them 118 questions. And one of the questions I asked, I said, what is the best money maker right now? And number one, top of the list, they said entrepreneurship. And then my follow-up question, can we be a little bit more specific than entrepreneurship, owning a business, this, that, and everything? More than 30% said real estate. And then my next follow-up question, what was the best money move that you ever made? And you know what, man, almost 70% told me the best money move they ever made, buying their first home.
Oh my goodness.
Buying their first home. So, yes, real estate. Now, let me be a little bit more specific in terms of financial literacy. Yes, there is a wealth gap. And at last blush, it'll take us more than 200 years to close this wealth gap. But Kris, what people don't understand.
We got to try.
Yeah.
Got to start somewhere.
Yeah, and it's just not Black folks. What society in general don't understand, when you see in Forbes magazine and Fortune, Jeff Bezos now worth 120 billion, or Bill Gates now worth 100 billion, and blah, blah, blah. The fallacy is people think that they earn these billions of dollars, through their businesses. That's not true. I mean, yes, they made a great profit on their business, but what they're doing, they're taking their earnings from their business and they're pouring it into the stock market.
Managing.
Okay? And not just the stock market, Kris, we're talking super stocks. All right, so you close your eyes and you invest in the stock market, and over a 20-year period, high, low, up and down, on average, the median is going to be 12 to 14%. That's why the stock market, 12 to 14%, you can't save that fast enough, right? But what are they doing in order to really create the wealth gap? We're not talking average stocks. They're pouring their billions of dollars into super stocks. What is a super stock? A super stock is Netflix when it hits the first time. A super stock is Apple when you can buy Apple for $5. A super stock is Chipotle when Chipotle is hot off the press. A super stock is Restoration Hardware when people just hear about Restoration Hardware. When that bad boy is earning 30%, and you're pouring in $5-10 billion at 30%, that's creating the gap. Now, if you can't do that, real estate is always there for you, brother. Yeah. Real estate, they ain't making more land. Real estate is always there for you. And that's the business, and that's the angle that we have got to see and take advantage of.
Are you seeing that once again, my mission is to raise, with that. I mean, I've been speaking on it for years. I still meet the 40, the 50-ish old person that's renting, and there's nothing wrong with renting. But in your opinion, are they not getting the word? Are they nervous? I'm thinking we do creative financing. Having to have cash to do real estate is not necessarily a large thing because we use OPM. Yep. Dr. Kimbro. Yep. Is it a thing to where this untruth has permeated our society where we think we need to have the personal money?
Look where you are. Okay, there are a number of factors that have got to be in place. Number one, when it comes to financial literacy, we're illiterate. We are illiterate in terms of financial literacy.
Gotcha.
Come on, Chris, and this is not blaming the victim. For more than 228 years, it was illegal for us to accrue wealth. Illegal.
Good
Illegal
God.
for us to accrue wealth. Number two, I mean, the average credit score of Black America is anywhere between 630, 680, man. 630, 680. You know, we are payment sensitive people. Dr. Kimbro, what do you mean payment sensitive? Okay, so we go into Best Buy and we want to get the Super Bowl is coming up and we want to get that new flat screen, and we see the flat screen goes for $500. Well, man, I ain't got no $500 on me, and you just walk away. Well, the clerk says, don't walk away. Come here. I got something for you. But with this revolving credit, you go ahead and get this revolving credit, and all you got to do every month is pay $18. This will fit into your budget, payment sensitive, and they don't tell you about the interest payments. That's where we are. So we have got to get beyond that thinking. So this is what I suggest you do. You got a hell of a vehicle in real estate. You got to do two things, Chris. When you make your presentations, split your time between financial literacy, then go into real estate. Now that you're a financial literate, let me show you what you can do in this field of real estate. So that's where your time has got to be spent.
Gotcha. Well, I look back over and I'm just like, I thought that owning a bunch of real estate, Dr. Kimbro, was my end goal. I was like, if I just paid off my houses, and I'm like, now that I'm here, I'm like, I'm just at the beginning.
Yep.
I'm at the beginning of my life. I mean, it's kind of sobering.
Yep. And that's what we have to do. That, unfortunately, that's where we are. And then, the third key is loving relationships. Don't have time to go on that, but let me focus on the fourth, which is financial freedom or financial independence. I sent you that slide.
Let's do it. I could bring it up.
You can put it up now. But Chris, more important, I got a feeling that if you want me to come back, I can come back and then we can go in detail at another time. I didn't want to make this like an MBA class or something like that. I wanted to be cognizant, and I want to respect your time and answer some questions. But now just let me focus on financial freedom and financial independence. It's different for different people. And again, you got to know who your customer is, Chris. When I say different for different people, if you would have asked my mother, Mary Kimbro, what is your level of financial freedom or financial independence? She would say, baby, if I could just make another $50 a month, if I could just make $50 a month, I would be ungrateful. Okay. But if I asked, I remember when I interviewed Don King, the fight promoter, years ago, I flew up to Cleveland and I spent a day with him, and I asked him, I said, what is your level of financial freedom and financial independence? And he told me in the mid to late 1980s, he said, I will be Black America's first Black billionaire. Well, he never did achieve that level, but that was his goal. Wow. That was his goal. So it's different for different people. But here's the thing, Chris, you can't use one set dollar figure. You can't. You got to approach people where they are and where they are in their thinking. As Jim Rohn says, you got to see and take on the aura and the mindset of a millionaire before you become a millionaire. You got to be mentally. Before you become a millionaire. Okay.
I got your slides here. You want me to bring any of them up before we get to the questions, Dr. Kimbro?
you do it.
I mean, you went over so much stuff. You want to hit any of them at all?
Here it is right there, man. You can share it with your viewers.
Round up, the man has written, good Lord, the books.
You see, there's Andrew Carnegie. To go to the first slide, there's Andrew Carnegie with Napoleon Hill. And it was really, in 1908, there was a knock on the door of Andrew Carnegie's mansion, 64-room mansion on Fifth Avenue, New York, overlooking Central Park. Napoleon Hill was 24 years old at the time, and he was a nondescript writer going around writing articles for Bob Taylor magazine. How in the world he got an hour interview with the wealthiest individual in the world was unknown how in the world he got that interview. But what linked Andrew Carnegie and Napoleon Hill together, they hit it off because Hill wasn't, he wasn't captured by all the bling bling and the excess and everything that Andrew Carnegie owned. The only thing that Hill was enticed about was the mindset. He wanted to know what type of mindset this individual possessed, to bring all these trappings into his life. So what was scheduled for an hour interview, Carnegie asked Napoleon Hill to spend the weekend with him in his mansion, and they can take their time and go over everything when it came to success. Well, when it was time to leave, 3 o'clock on a Sunday, he said, young man, he said, see that roll top desk over there? He said, yeah, in that roll top desk, I got a black book. And in that book, I got the contact information of all the game changers on the planet. If I could set up the interviews, would you be enamored to go ahead and interview Harvey Firestone, to interview Henry Ford, to interview Thomas Edison, to interview Charles Goodyear, to interview Alexander Graham Bell? And those are individuals, the same questions you asked me, and whatever they tell you about success and achievement, place it in a single book, a single volume that would not only benefit this generation, but generations to come. And Hill said yes. Only took Hill 11 seconds to say yes. He said yes so fast that Carnegie said, wait a minute, my brother, pump the brakes. You didn't give me time to finish. He said, I'm not going to pay you a dime. He said, oh, I will reimburse you for any cash, for any outlay of cash that you had to go to spend in order to interview these individuals. But I'm not going to pay you a dime. Just the fact that you're writing this book will be fortunate enough. And Hill said, I will go ahead and do it. Well, that was his first book, Law of Success. And as the readers out there know, that Hill went on to write Think and Grow Rich. And then that baton was passed on to me. That book that he was working on was a black version of Think and Grow Rich. Got 100 pages into the manuscript. W. Clement Stone asked me to finish the book. All-time bestseller. 1 million copies out there in the universe. And that's literally. And it wasn't me, it was the creator that changed the mindset of Black America. Because when this book hit in 1991, it was the first of its type. I mean, there was no Iyanla Vanzant when this book was out there. There was no, you name it, man. There was no Les Brown when this book hit. There was no Eric Thomas when this book hit. There was no George Frazier when this book. I remember all those individuals. This was the first of its type. And, Kris, I'm on your show right now, but there were a lot of folks that didn't believe in Think and Grow Rich or Black Choice when the book hit. They labeled me as a conservative. I got some negative reviews. Who is this individual talking about Black America and success? Don't they know the racism, discrimination that we got at Flopper? And I said, listen, but racism, discrimination have never stopped a man or woman on the move. I got some negative reviews. They called me a conservative. They called me a capitalist warmed over. But slowly but surely, after 30 years, the book has really changed the thinking of not only Black America, but African Americans throughout the globe.
Thank you. I got to be honest with you. I was in my uncle's house. He had this book when I was in college. I saw it. And I'm just, Dr. Kimbro, I want to be honest. I'm just being transparent. I saw it. I'm like, I wasn't the person that needed it at the time. And I'm just so embarrassed, man. I'm embarrassed. He had it on his shelf. I saw it. But now we're here, man. Roundup, I'm bringing you this. Please go to the video description below. At least get the Think and Grow Rich one. It was man. You want to go over the other stuff here? Or you want to hit some Q&A, Dr. Kimbro?
Yeah, we can take Q&A, but I just want to tell people, I'm not saying you got to be an entrepreneur and you got to be a millionaire. That's not me. I mean, my books are not about cash, Kris.
I love the way you say that too. I love the way you
courage. Yep.
Let's stay here for a minute before we get to Q&A. Yeah. I love the way you say cash. How many people, I wish I had a dime every time somebody says, Kris, I would do real estate, but I just need the money. I just need the money. I'm like, wrong thinking. Wrong thinking, bro. I'm like, if
Yeah,
I had a dime, I would be so much more wealthy than I am. Go.
yeah. Because we don't know what it takes to find your area of excellence. Because the keynote to harmony in doing what you were sent here to do. I tell my students all the time, how come you were born in the year 2000, but I was born in the year 1950? Because the world wasn't ready for you then. But now that you are here, all the lights are green, all the stops have been removed. You are ready to go ahead and place your fingerprints upon life. What does the Bible say? The Bible says, complete thy noble task. What in the world does that mean? Do what you've been sent here to do. Do what you've been sent here to. Well, Dr. Kimbro, I don't have this, I don't have that. Again, go back to the Bible. The Bible's a very old book, but it's still ahead of its time. It says, work out your salvation. Work out your own salvation. In other words, solve the problem. Quit complaining, quit moaning, quit griping, quit bitching. Man, sit down and solve the damn problem. And when you solve that problem, Einstein, what did Einstein say, Chris? You can't solve today's problems with yesterday's thinking. When you sit and be still and figure this out. If I took you and your best friend into my class at school and I gave you both a marker and I sent you up to the smart board, I said, Chris, multiply 50 times 2. Tell your best friend, you multiply 50 times 2. Your best friend says, writes 50 times 2 is 99. Chris, you write 50 times 2 equals 100. What is the difference between you and your best friend? The difference is you know the truth and your best friend doesn't. You know the truth. In other words, why are you into real estate? Why are you into growing? Why are you into developing? Because you're just like Moses when you climb Mount Sinai. Moses saw the burning bush and he said, wow, look at that bush. It's on fire, but I don't see any smoke. I don't see any charcoal. I don't see any dust. It's on fire, but the fire is not consuming. Now that's something I haven't seen. That goes against my thinking. There must be something more to life. Chris, why are you doing what you do and your friends aren't? Because you saw the burning bush, Chris. You realize there must be something more to life. I tell my students all the time, when you graduated from high school, all your high school buddies said they're going to go to college, they're going to go ahead and get your degree. But when the end of August came, you were the one who got on that airplane. You were the one who packed your suitcases. You were the one that, like Martin Luther King said, step out on faith. And now we're here. It's Christmas holidays. It's Thanksgiving holidays. You go home and you see your best buddies that you hung out with. You went to the prom together. You would go to the Friday night football games. You had sleepover and you won't even call them up. You won't even send them a text message. Why? Because you had an argument, you got into a fight, you exchanged words. No, you got nothing in common. Why? You saw the burning bush and they didn't.
Oh, man.
You saw it and they did. You got nothing in common, man. I mean, number 7 is to mapping out your career, your life, your entrepreneur. You associate with those folks you choose to associate with. Personal growth and development, like-minded individuals. You hang around 9 broke people, sooner or later you're going to be number 10. But you hang around high flyers, high achievers, man, top of mind status, man, level 5 leaders. Where do you think you're going to be?
They're going to pull you up.
Yeah. You show me who you associate with, and I'll show you what you're going to be in 5 years, man.
Thank you, Brother Kimbro. Listen, how much time we got? I don't
take a couple of questions, and I got to skidoo.
Oh, no, I don't. God, I got a million questions in these box. Chris Monroe wants to know, how does one figure out their life mission?
All right, I'm going to give you the quick and dirty to find your area of excellence. All right? These 3 questions, write them down. Find your area of excellence. It's in what makes the great great. Number 1, what do you love to do? What do you have a passion for? What can you throw your whole heart and soul into? Question number 2, what would you do for free? If no one ever paid you a dime, if no one ever gave you financial reward, if no one ever gave you compensation for what you were doing, would you do it for free? Because when you do what you love to do and you would do it for free, your work is your play. And if your work is your play, you'll never work a day in your life. There I am with Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey actually spoke in my class. And what did he say? A career is what you're paid for, but a calling is what you're made for. So many times, Kris, in the interviews, I couldn't tell when these folks were, when they were working, when they were playing. It was completely symmetrical. I couldn't see. And if you can't answer those two questions, number three, go to somebody who you respect and admire and ask, what do you see me as? What do you think I would be good at doing?
I like that one.
And here's the good news, Kris. When you find your area of excellence, when I do it in my MBA class, you know what I do? I bring in a bottle of champagne. I mean, we all grown folks. Here's your little plastic. Let me fill these bottles of champagne. When you find the number one reason why the Lord blew breath into your lungs, when you find the number one reason why you are here, you never have to worry about income and you never have to worry about employment. Why? Nope. The marketplace will seek you out.
Nope.
The marketplace will seek you out. Why? Everybody wants to be associated with the best.
That's a good one. Thank you. Deogen. Dennis, do you think African Americans ignore good opportunities when doing business in Africa, to do business in business in Africa?
In Africa right now. You listen, man, we're doing business in Africa right now. All you got to do is ask Delta Airlines. I don't know how many times I interviewed Andy Young. Andy Young, years ago, he went to Delta Airlines and says, you guys need a flight. You need a couple of flights to, go to Africa. You need one to go to Nigeria. You need one to go to Johannesburg. And Delta Airlines said, man, that's crazy, man. Who's going to get on a plane, go to Africa, blah, blah, blah. Look at Delta Airlines said, there are two flights, the one to Lagos, Nigeria, and the other one, the J. Burton, South Africa, are the two most profitable flights in the thousands upon thousands of flights of Delta Airlines. That's how much business is going to Africa. That's how much business is going to Africa. And so, and that's what we need. We need right now, there are going to be, in 5 years, there's going to be 8 billion people on the planet, Kris. Of the 8 billion people on the planet, 3 billion want to work. Of the 3 billion who want to work, 1.8 billion already got jobs. So what are the 1.2 billion who want to work doing? Twiddling their thumbs? No, they're waiting on entrepreneurs to create these 1.2 billion jobs. They're waiting on you, entrepreneurs. Come on, entrepreneurs, solve these problems. What's the next big thing? I mean, when Uber was launched 13 years ago, Uber didn't come to me and says, I got an idea for Uber. Dr. Kimbro, what do you think? I said, well, we already got taxi cabs. Why do we need Uber? Uber didn't wait on me. And look at Uber. Uber's putting the taxi cab market out of business. Why? Because they said, as long as they got this, that's freedom. We want to put the passenger in control where they can rate the ride. And they created a reviewing society. And now everybody gets reviewed. Now I go to rate my professor and I see the reviews that I got. I don't care. You can't even go to church on Sunday. With pastors and clergymen, their church is getting reviewed. Why? All because of Uber. All because of Uber. At one time, it was MapQuest. MapQuest. If you want to get to point A to point B, man, all I got to do is go on MapQuest and they get me there. But now look at Waze, Kris. Waze, the same, remember I told you, imagination, you got creative and you got synthetic. Waze took the synthetic approach. Why? They took the same idea, MapQuest, and what did they do, Kris? All they did was change one single algorithm. They said, if we change the algorithm, not only can we get them from point A to point B, but we get them quicker. We'll show them if there are any accidents. We'll show them if the police got the roads blocked off. We'll show them how to circumnavigate. That's powerful, brother. Synthetic. That's powerful. And like I said, waiting on high growth entrepreneurs to create those jobs. So what are you doing? You twist your thumbs, man, or you gonna bust the move. Like I said, entrepreneurs solve problems. Small business owners, well, they run small businesses, but entrepreneurs, they change the world. And that's not me, that's Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs says, when are you going to place a dent in the universe?
Wow.
When are you going to place a dent in the universe? I hope you got this on record, Kris, because you need to show this, man.
Oh, yeah. We got 80 people on here now.
There's billions of folks who need to hear what I just shared. And I'm not patting myself on the back. I mean, I've been doing this for 30 years, sitting at the feet of the best and brightest, and they've been pouring into me, man.
Mm-hmm.
They've been pouring into me. You know how many times I've been Professor of the Year at Clark Atlanta? I'm grateful for it. Thank you, Father. I'm grateful. Thank you for much. But I would expect no less when Steve Harvey gave me 2 hours of time. When Damon John said to me, take as much time as you want. Ask me any question. I mean, when you're best and brightest, I sit at the feet and they're pouring into me. Well, they're giving me all this information not to sit on my hands. Kris, don't you realize, people ask me all the time, Dr. Kimbro, there's one person that you wanted to interview and you could never interview. I always tell them yes. Who was it? Michael Jordan. I tried. Kris, damn, Haskins, I tried to interview Money Jordan. And I couldn't get a hold of him. But one day, you plant that seed and you water it. One day, I get a phone call from a contact. And next thing I know, I get a phone call and I'm on the line. I'm speaking to Michael Jordan's personal attorney.
Okay.
And he says to me, he likes my book, my idea for what makes the great great. And he says, young man, you can forget interviewing Michael Jordan. He's my client. I handle his money, and he doesn't return my phone calls half the time. But I tell you what, if you come up to Chicago, I'll take you to lunch. You pick the restaurant, and you can ask me any question on Michael Jordan because there's no one in the world that knows more information about Michael Jordan than me. How does that sound, young man? I said, I'm on a flight right now. Fly up to Chicago. He said, pick any restaurant you want. And there we are at a restaurant in the Four Seasons Hotel off of Michigan Avenue in a corner. I'm talking to him and I'm firing every question about Michael Jordan, stories that he told me about Jordan, unbelievable. And what it takes to be number one. So they poured into me, man. So I can't. Come on, bro. Well, we gotta go, Kris.
I got a million questions. I gotta get you back. We're gonna
do that. Yep, we're going to do that. And what I want you to do for round 2, just send me a host of questions so I can be prepared and go into them for your viewing audience to make this as productive as possible. How's that sound, my brother?
That sounds fair. I'm honored. Whatever I can get from you, my friend. I'm honored. That's fine.
Good. You keep doing what you're doing. Thanks for this opportunity. I love you. Stay safe. Wash your hands.
You too.
Social distance. And adios, my brother. Hang tight.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Bye.
Roundup. I'm sorry. I thought I was going to have more. Let me get my composure. I've been smiling. My face is hurting. Roundup. Whew. Good God Almighty. I want to be transparent, y'all. Y'all know I'm not on Hollywood. I'm not better than nobody. I'm literally walking this path with you. Last week I'm with Ron LeGrand. Yesterday I'm with Patrick Bet-David. Today I'm with Dr. Dennis Kimbro. Woo! I'm living a dream, and I get to live it with you. Sorry. So what we'll do, I'll go through these questions. I'll have my team. If y'all want to put what we'll do. He said he'll come back, right? Wow. I mean, the 80 people. Get your questions in. If you didn't put them in the chat box, I would prefer you put them in the video description. That way I can just bang them out like that. And get his books. His books, I'm telling you, here's how I read Dr. Kimbro's books. I keep them to the next to my bed, right? Then I have my little thing here, my notes. You can open up any page to these notes and you can see that I highlight stuff that's important. I'll read a little section. There is simply the willingness to listen, to learn, and to understand that accumulation of money cannot be left to chance, good luck, or fortune. These one-liners, they just help me. You can turn it to, I highlight little things that kind of keep me on track. I can't leave my empire left to chance. You know, I have to be directed with that. So I'm just saying, if you go to the video description, all this stuff is down there. I said, you guys are loving Dr. Kimbro. I wish I had more to give you guys. I'm just honored to be in the man's presence. So what we'll do, once again, put your questions in here. Like this content, share with any other entrepreneurs. I'm going to be blasting it out. I'll go down here and see if there's anything from me. I doubt it. I mean, I can't follow up with this guy. Wow, so many questions. I'm literally crying, the man. Okay, that's it. Let me get out of here. We've been on here for an hour. Questions in, subscribe, share this content. Please just hit the thumbs up for our optimization purposes. Okay, Roundup, I love you. See you later, everybody.